Hey, it took a little bit longer for StreamYard to fire up this morning. Good morning. I'm Dave Glovin. This is Boogie with the Bull Uncensored for Saturday, May 13th, 2023. And we are live on actually, we're not. Give me just a second here. We'll go back and come back in again on the Dave Glovin profile. We are live on the Dave Glovin profile. We're live on the Boogie with the Bull page. Excuse me. Let me start that again. We're live on the Dave Glovin profile with a live chat. We are live on the Boogie with the Bull Uncensored public group with a live chat. And we are live on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel with a live chat. So if you got something to say during the broadcast, join us in the live chat. And give me just a second here. If you want to come on to the broadcast, I'll leave that up on the screen. Join Boogie with the Bull Uncensored. Put this link in your browser, StreamYard.com/X8JSY8EBJD. Put that link in your browser. I recommend that you log off of Facebook before you do that, or else you get a wicked delay, and sometimes it is very loud and very confusing, but I will leave that there. Randy Rhodes has a link. He may join us momentarily. I hope he does. The border. It was all over the news last night. While I was watching the American Rebellion, I was getting slammed with links to watch everybody under the sun who was there. It didn't really look like people storming the border. It really didn't look like people were storming. It looked like people were in an orderly fashion, just walking in as they got their chance to walk in. So if you think a civil war at the border is the only way to keep people out, well, then maybe that's what you need to do. If you think that. I think what's going to happen is I hope that the Republican House under Speaker Kevin McCarthy will put pressure on President Biden to extend Title 42, and which will probably be declined by President Biden, and probably Chuck Schumer and the Democrats in the House, over in the Senate, they will probably refuse to do it as well. And one of these days, after they have basically bankrupted the United States of America by taking care of people who it's not our responsibility to take care of, bring them to America, help them set up themselves, their families, to live and experience the American dream, yes. But it is not our responsibility to bring 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, 100 million, however many people are going to walk through in the next few days. It is not our responsibility to bring them here so that the Democrats think they have enough votes to win with Joe Biden in 2024. And if you actually think that's what's going on here, that again, the Democrats are trying to bring votes in to win the 2024 election, then maybe you should be talking to your elected representatives, and they need to start doing whatever it is they need to do to not allow this to happen anymore. I said yesterday on the 5 p.m. Boogie, you know what? We're the only country that does not have established you can't cross our border without our permission. That's maintained 24 hours a day. I mean, if you're outside of China and you cross into China and you don't have legal entry into China, you're going to be nailed as a spy. You do the same thing. You go into Russia, you're probably going to be nailed as a spy. I mean, you might be able to cross into Ukraine and be welcomed as a hero because you're an American. And America is pretty much supporting Ukraine right now. But I don't I don't really know. Gerard K. Michaels is watching. Jerry Michaels, if you want to join, I will send you a link, and it is up to you. Randy Rhodes is supposed to be along momentarily, so give me a minute here as I get into the link master. And Gerard K. Michaels. Gerard K. Michaels. All right, a link is on the way to you, Jerry. You're welcome to join if you wish, or you can watch. It's kind of a, there's so much more to talk about than just what's going on at the border, other than keeping you aware of what is happening. Okay, Jerry can't join this morning, but if anyone is watching and they want to join, you see the link, and you can pop through and come in. But I mean, the border is important because we don't have a border, like I said, and we need to firm up and have a border, and we need to make people who want to come into America come in the right way. Go to the nearest checkpoint, come in, throw yourself on the ground and cry that you are here for asylum, and go through what you need to go through to be brought in. Without Title 42, I guess now it's, we're not going to stop you at the border. We're just going to let you come in. And you know what? You're going to see your country go down the toilet. Not because people don't have a right to come in from anywhere and experience the American dream, but because they want to come in and take the American dream from American citizens, make it their dream, and have us pay for it. You know what? I don't want to hear it anymore. I worked hard about 40 of the 44 years that I worked hard to grow businesses, grow my own business, and pay into Social Security some. And when it was time for me to not work anymore, then, I was entitled to what I got. But to tell me that you're going to take my Social Security away from me because you don't think I deserve it anymore, bureaucrats in Washington, D.C., and you're going to give it to somebody who, A, is not an American citizen, B, didn't work in America and earn anything. No, I'm sorry. Go get a job as an automated fry cook at McDonald's and work your way up. Or, I don't know what to tell you. But obviously, President Biden is not listening to the will of the American people. He is not listening to the other side of the aisle. He's probably not even listening to Democrats who are telling him what to do. I kind of had enough. I wanted to know what people were doing this weekend. The Friday Boogie with the Bull is simply, hey, tell us what you're doing this weekend. And if you're going to sit around and read Facebook and bitch about the South border, hey, let me know that that's what you're doing. But at the same time, if you jumped in your car and you were going to head down to the South border and you were going to try to make sure people aren't just hop, skipping, jumping, and walking in anywhere they can, let me know that too. I don't know what the answer is anymore. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning.
What's the answer?
Well, the answer is to get a whole new administration in the White House. But, I've been saying on your show and other shows and on my own show for years now, it's not going to happen. It's just the way it is. We're stuck with what we have. Things are going to get worse. Even the Bible suggests that in the end, the United States is not even mentioned as a country or as a nation or as an entity, because in the Bible in Revelation it talks about Gog and Magog, okay, and it talks about the hordes from the east, that kind of thing, which experts have determined is China and Russia. And then it mentions about the lion and all her cubs. Well, theoretically, we would be considered a cub of England, but which means we're no longer a nation as a whole. We are a cub. Okay. And I just, I've said this, and no one has given me an answer. I have like 2,000 followers between my genealogy, my personal Facebook profile, another couple hundred on Instagram, and I from time to time ask the question. And I know that I wouldn't think that all my people who like me and follow me are all conservative Republican Trump supporters. Okay. There has to be some Democrats follow me, or at least in the public forum. And I asked the question: can someone on the left explain to me, hey Jerry, explain to me why the Democrats are so hell bent on destroying this nation? But no one's just like you, Dave. You ask, for the left to, come on your show and give their, thoughts on things in general, and no one's taking you up on your offer. They're afraid to address it.
Yep.
Because when you talk one-on-one with a Democrat liberal, for the most part, all they're going to do is reiterate what they've been told to reiterate.
Yep. They're not going to step out against the. They're not going to step out against the party because they might find themselves on the other side of the border if they do.
And that's what, if I had to say anything good about the Democrat, Liberal, Socialist, Communist Party that's in the White House right now, I would say it is the solidity between the members and the respect and honor to the leadership above them. Because if you ever take notice when, Congress or the Senate goes into session and it's about something very specific, like Planned Parenthood or the border or something like that, they all freaking wear the same colors. They all rise and sit. They all applaud and don't applaud. It's like they're robots listening to the guy who's pushing the buttons and toggling the handle, what I'm talking about, the game controller.
Yeah.
But the Republicans, they only look out for themselves. I mean, they don't, for the most part, they don't look out for their people who voted them in. Nope. And it sure are not solidly behind Trump, who put them there. When you think about it, almost all those Republicans are where they're at because of the coattails to Trump.
Very true.
That's why I stick with history. History doesn't change. Okay. You can respect the history. You can respect, how. Let me put it this way. We are here. You and I, Jerry, William, Michael, Beth. All of us are here because of our parents, their parents, and all the way back to Europe or wherever country we originally came from. But they came here, and again, there's an argument for saying we stole the land from those who lived here before. Okay, that's in the past, that's history. But it's still ongoing even today with nations, taking the land. But they came here and they forged out a lean-to home for a while with a little campfire, the heat, stay warm at night, and cook your food in a hole in the ground that go toy. And then eventually, built the log cabin. The log cabin became a buried cabin, so it became a house. So the idea is, they came here, they forged the new land, they created a home, a hamlet, a town, a village, a city, and eventually a nation. Because they came here for freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom from a government that is willy-nilly, putting people to death and, not looking out for their better, only looking out for themselves as far how much money they can get through taxation and so forth. And what do we have?
Nothing.
We have a government that is willing to increase taxes to support $50 trillion in expenses that we don't have. And, the Democrats' answer is we're going to raise taxes. Well, at some point, you're going to raise those damn taxes so freaking high, no one's going to be able to pay for it. I mean, you're just saying about Social Security. I'm on Social Security disability, so is my wife, okay? And, thank God she and I both got a $200 raise January, which helps. I'm not going to say it doesn't. But at some, and my rent's going up $100, and food's going up, and eggs are costing like $10 a dozen, where it used to be $1.50, something like that. All because the Democrats, they don't give a shit about us. They just care about themselves, the home they live in, and the security paid for by yours truly, you, me, and all the other American citizens who are still actually working and earning a wage. When does it stop? How does it stop?
I don't think it stops until there's nothing left to pay, or they launch this new digital Fed, and they will now control all of the money, because they will be the ones putting money into your account. They will be the ones able to take money out of your account, shut off your account, lock you in your Tesla, which will become your jail cell.
Well, actually not, because from what I understand, I saw an article a couple months back with the new electric cars costing $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a car, right? I guess so many people, jumped the bandwagon, bought their all electric car, and then realized, hey, I can't make the payments.
Tesla brought the price right. He brought the price down on the lower models.
So but what I'm saying is, though, so the bank said, hey, we're getting screwed because these cars are out there. We aren't getting the money. It costs so much to send someone out there to repo the car. So Ford Motor Company, I'm not sure about the others, but Ford designing their cars now with a program that if you miss a payment, they can activate that damn car wherever it's at and have it drove back to either the bank or to the dealership.
Or they can lock you in it and take it back to the dealer. Yeah. But that to me, the bigger question to me is, we haven't done anything to the grid to make the grid ready to stand up and handle all of those electric cars. It's like Jerry said on the American Rebellion: if you want one, go buy one. Just leave me the hell alone. Well, it's the same thing with me. But the problem is that if everybody in our neighborhood of homes bought an electric vehicle and all plugged them in at the same time, we're going to blow the grid of the neighborhood up. Because go ahead.
Look at California. I mean, California has their roving brownouts, which are more frequently, and you can't turn the AC on sometimes. You can't take a hot shower. You can't do your laundry. You can't water your. Hang on one second. I got a dog in the back on his park.
Okay, well, but yeah, I mean, this is where it is, America. I mean, you can go and buy an electric car if you really want one. That's my view. If you really want one, go buy one. But my electric bill shouldn't go up because all of a sudden you're charging your electric car all the time, or keeping it plugged in all the time so that it's at the top all the time. Matter of fact, the funniest thing I saw yesterday was a video of a Tesla owner who showed that Tesla GPS will show you the route that you need to take when when you're driving somewhere, and it will show you all of the charging stations along the way, so that when you need to stop and charge your car, it will tell you, or if you want to stop and charge your car, it will tell you. And this guy was following the route, and all of a sudden, I forget where he was, but it said the next Tesla gas station is at the exit. He got off the exit, and about halfway down the exit, he ran out. And he ended up having to get a flatbed tow truck to come pick him up and drive him literally a quarter of a mile from where he died to the station. And then there's Jerry and the gang on the American Rebellion were talking yesterday. The Tesla spontaneously combusts is the best model of Tesla, I guess, because everybody seems to have that option. The other thing that bothers me is I've seen countless videos where they show you that this thing the battery pack weighs 1,000 pounds. It has 6,000 cells. If one cell goes bad, the entire thing will not charge. So you got to take it to your Tesla mechanic who lifts the whole 1,000-pound thing out, and then one by one tests every cell until he finds the cell, or she finds the cell that's bad, and they replace that one cell and then put it back in.
Yeah, we're talking about California and so forth. And again, the nice thing about this new monitor of mine that has paid for itself since I got it is being able to look at you directly, not like this talking to you. I'm reading the other monitor, but having the news on the screen so as we can, Anyways, we all knew at some point that the whole restorations to the Black community of San Francisco was going to explode. And as of, yesterday when I saw it, California Governor Newsom said, no, we don't have the money for that. And now in today's Newsmax, it says that he has announced that the state's budget has now increased to $32 billion with a B dollars. So now he's got to try and find a way to cut that down so they can afford to pay their bills or to raise taxes to help pay for it.
He's going to get his new share of imported Americans that they're not going to be able to pay for.
So one of his immediate answers is to raise taxes by 25% on like 18. Okay. Raise taxes by 25% on 2,500 of the largest companies in California.
And what are they going to do? They're going to leave.
Then they already are. They already have been leaving California because they can't afford the extra taxes.
And everybody in every other state that thinks they can support a Silicon Valley company for years has been trying to get that Silicon Valley company to pull up and leave California and go to where they are. And it's going to start happening. Then you got stupid people like Ocasio-Cortez who literally says to Amazon, don't hire any more people in New York. Well, what does that mean? It means Amazon's going to pull what they got out of New York, the people out of New York, send them someplace else, and they're going to automate that New York warehouse. I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. They wanted to get McDonald's paying people $22 an hour. And now McDonald's is going to pay people nothing, really, because there might be one or two people working in that automated McDonald's. and the rest of it's going to be automated. Same thing at Walmart. You know, I just don't get it anymore.
I don't either. I mean,
and ranting about it doesn't really do any good anymore, because it's not that people aren't listening. It's not that people aren't telling me what well, that is really what it is. It's people aren't jumping into the conversation and saying, this is what I think we should do. Because it's like I keep telling people, I don't come on to tell you what you should do. I just come on to present you the options and hope that when we go dark, when we're done at the end of a broadcast, somebody has decided what they need to do for themselves, and they do it. I would be at the southern border right now if I had a reliable way to get down there and knew people that were going down there, just to be down there to observe what's going on. Not looking for any confrontation between those coming in and the States, but just to show what is going on, because people understand. 1 million, 2 million, 5 million. It doesn't matter how many people are coming in. Your government doesn't have a way to support them. Promise them jobs? Yeah. Promise them your job? Yeah. Maybe even if you're behind on your mortgage, you're going to lose your home, and it's going to be given. I don't even know if that will happen either.
You talk about homes and the southern border and the illegals coming in. Have you seen, did you know that what's been happening, and every now and then it hits the news feed. So you have this nice home, and it's near the southern border, and you go away on vacation or go away for a couple of days, whatever, and you come back and boom, someone's inside your house.
Squatters.
And they've been living there.
Yep.
Do you know you can't kick them out
No,
without
you
going
can't.
through a hellacious lawsuit and a lot of money?
Yep. Our country has basically said, hey, you can buy a home, and we'll even help you buy a home. But if somebody comes in and says it's their home now, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So why would anybody want to buy a home? Which is what the government wants. The government wants to own all the homes. The government wants to rent you your home. I don't get it. And then we can fall back on the property tax argument. You bought your house, you paid sales tax, you paid capital gains tax, you paid this tax, that tax, you paid the first year property taxes, and 200 years after you bought that home or your family bought that home, you're still paying property tax, and you will never own that piece. You own the home, but you will never own that piece of property. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way.
But along with home ownership, or even for someone who rents, if my township decides now we're in a built up area, but let's say I'm out in the suburbs or close to boonies, what we call boonies, out in the woods, and they decide we need to build a road. We need no more dirt road. We need a paved road going down this way. We need to widen it. If they want to, they can seize your property, cut back as far as they can, or want to run that new paved high road along with a sidewalk, wherever they need. Or if your home happens to be in direct line of their building up that road, they can seize your house.
Yep.
Now it doesn't happen that often, but it's always that risk.
But by the same token, they could lock you in your home, because I listened to Jerry, who lives down south of me, and I don't know, it sounds like they don't pave the roads where he is. They come out every so often and they have to level them or grade them or whatever it's called, or they dump some gravel down. which will eventually level the road. If they stop doing that, you'll be stuck. Those roads will flood during the heavy rains or a bad storm. You're locked in your home. And by the way, you're locked in your home, but because you're locked in your home, we're going to divert electricity to some other part of town. Grade them. I knew that there was a word for them, Jerry, but and I'm not picking on you. I'm just using you as an example that but even with paved roads, they could lock you out because again, if they don't like you and they don't like what you're doing, they just divert the electricity someplace else, or they divert your internet, your good internet service in the town. They just divert that to another part of town. I mean, and it's not, like I said, I'm not singling out Jerry. They do it everywhere. I honestly think that maybe the reality is that the Democrats want all of these electric cars, all of these electric homes, because they know that it'll kill the grid. Forget about doing the work on the grid forget about doing the work on the grid to update it. They should have done all the work to be able to handle electric cars. They should have had a lot of these charging stations built, and even then, some of these charging stations aren't safe. You plug your car in, you turn it on to charge, and poof, the pump blows up and your car goes with it.
We watch Chicago Fire.
Yep, we do too.
And every now and then they have their horrific crash, and it involves a all electric car, and so the car burns like crazy because of the batteries. So they put the fire out, and that was a tough one. Finally got it out, and also whoosh.
Like Jerry was saying last night, that just because you think the fire is out, and a lot of, like they were saying last night, Jerry and the folks, a lot of times junkyards won't take them for that reason, because just because they put the fire out doesn't mean that it's not all of a sudden going to spontaneously combust again in the junkyard. And the batteries, I understand they won't take. You can bring a car. They can tow one to a junkyard, but they won't take the batteries. You have to take the batteries out, send them someplace else.
I'm looking here. Tucker Carlson, made the switch for now to Twitter.
Yep.
And must have been a hell of a deal, right? To finally said, I'm here. So I'm looking at it. It
had to be a hell of a deal that Elon Musk offered him.
So Elon Musk is doing a little bit better than matching his annual salary to 20. He was making 20 mil at Fox. So Elon Musk is paying him 25 mil now. They're talking about doing Elon Musk is saying that he wants to try and turn Twitter into like a media outlet. So they're going to create something along the lines of that Fox service.
There were rumors because SpaceX and Google are working together on some projects that he approached Google wanting to buy YouTube. And I don't know what, if anything, ever happened to it. And I would imagine that if he can't, he'll just launch something through or buy something. I mean, the playbook for social media ownership seems to be, if you can't build a module that you want fast enough, then you look for the best one around and you buy it and you do it that way. I mean, that's exactly what Zuckerberg did.
No, Yeah. So the
They
thing,
didn't build anything into Facebook. They just launched Facebook and bought everything for ridiculous amounts of money.
so they're talking about a paid subscription to Tucker for $6 a month.
Yeah.
If they get what they're thinking as far as the numbers, it works out to $18 million to Tucker on top of the $25 million that he's getting.
Yeah.
Plus, obviously,
and it will encourage other Tuckers to do the same thing.
Yeah. So plus what the 40 to 50 million that supposedly Fox still owes him for breaking the contracts.
Yep.
He's not got any money issues for
And it was something like $80 million in advertising a night that Tucker was on. I mean, I can't understand for the life of me. I mean, if I was Rupert Murdoch, I would be sitting down with my sons and my daughter, and I would be going, what the hell did you do? $80 million a night times 30 nights is something like $30 billion a month. What the hell did you do?
Yeah.
And CNN's going to go Trump. Actually, if Trump, God forbid, Trump isn't elected, after that CNN town hall, I could honestly see CNN trying to get Trump, or trying to get Trump to add CNN to Truth Social or something. Because, I mean, if anything, he saved CNN one night, made them cash positive, and unfortunately, they'll be broke by the end of this month again. But
I'm looking at here about Elon Musk buying YouTube to see what the update is.
Jerry says they'll take my property from my cold dead hands, and I love you, Jerry, like a brother. But the funny thing about it is, I wish we had a leftist Democrat socialist on the panel today, because they probably go, "Yep, your hands will probably be very cold and very dead." But I mean, it's just, come on, folks. There's so much more important stuff than the stuff you guys are doing. And it's like I was reading and watching something about Wuhan Health Organization Chairman Dr. Fauci, that basically says that he was here in the United States doing what he was supposed to be doing through the National Institutes of Health. I guess this gain of function, or whatever they call it, game of function, Game of Thrones, whatever you want to call it. All of a sudden, the government decided they didn't want to fund that stuff anymore. But the problem was that Fauci had all of these colleges and universities and companies in the United States working on it. So supposedly it was Dr. Fauci who went to Wuhan labs, and I don't know if he bought the labs or whatever. I don't know who owns them, but he went there and he continued the research. And you know what? If it's proven that he can do that,
he should be hung.
Yeah. But the problem there is, you have to follow the money, because Anthony Fauci didn't have the money to say, hey, Wuhan labs, we're going to take you over and do this. And, some days I wish they could just line them all up against a brick wall at Gitmo, and that's the end of it. But then again,
you know,
you have to hope that maybe some of these people, even understanding that one by one down the line against the wall at Gitmo, that once you have done the whole line, you don't have all of the knowledge that you need, and like I say, we're never going to stop mass shootings in this country, because every time we have one, CNN and all the other news networks cover it from every single angle they can, have all of their experts on to talk about why this keeps happening, and then they go to another network and do the same thing over there. And if you're a crazed person sitting with your 2 or 3 AK-47s and your duffel bag full of other guns and ammunition, you're just sitting there going, well, he did this or she did that, and they only killed 12. If I do all the things different that they didn't do, not only may I live, but I'm going to kill everybody. Lots more numbers. It's almost like it's, online school to learn how to do it. I personally think they should maybe once show a picture of the person and give their name, and then from that point on, the gunman, the gun woman, the gun person, and only give factual information as to what is happening then. No more, like I said, no more analysis from every single angle, showing you all the camera angles that simulate how the gun was fired and this and that and the other stuff. Just, I guess it's not fair to the families who lost the 200 people that will get killed. But maybe that's what we should be doing, is we should be celebrating the lives of the 200 people that got killed, and maybe use that to try to prove to people that we just don't need to do this anymore, rather than celebrating every single soundbite of this crazed person's life that led to this, and then have to stomach through hours and hours and hours and hours of interviews with people. Oh, he was a great guy. He was just confused, or he was a great guy, and you're all confused with him and why he did this. I don't care why he did it. I really don't. I mean, I want to know why he did it, because hopefully then we can stop everybody else from wanting to do it afterwards, of which, again, I don't think we're ever going to do it. And I'm almost at the point where if I'm watching a broadcast and somebody says anything about Mayor Beetlejuice and the Monday morning news conference where she used to tell how many people died from gunshot wounds or whatever in Chicago, trying to make everybody understand that more people die in Chicago than anywhere else in the United States every weekend. I wish I could get this person on. I wish I could get Mayor Lightfoot on a Boogie with the Bull broadcast and look at her and go, you defunded the police, the people who are responsible for making sure things like this don't happen. You didn't encourage them not to go and deal with these things. You told them not to go and deal with these things. And even if you didn't tell them, a lot of them were so afraid they'd drive their car to where they were sent to and tell their dispatchers, oh, no, there's nothing here. And they'd either leave or they wouldn't get out of their car. I wouldn't want to get out of my car. I wouldn't want to drive my car to an incident like that. we're just screwed up, and we keep digging the hole deeper. And where I say, I want to come on every day and show people dots of information that get you to make the decision for yourself. That's all well and good. But once you make the decision for yourself, you got to do something with it. And like Randy said, and other people have said, if we don't get involved, nothing's going to change. But then again, nothing's going to change regardless of what side of the aisle you vote for.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. Because
I mean, I hoped in the 118th it would be different, because all the new people that got elected, I hoped, might get the people who've been there forever to lighten up or to understand and see America. But that doesn't happen, because I'm convinced from the day you get elected until the day you retire, from the day you get elected, you're already going to be placed into somebody's pocket.
I agree. I mean, a person running for politics will make all the promises, say all the right words, kiss the baby, hug the old man, whatever, hand out food, do all the right things, make all the right motions, and they get elected, they get in the office, and someone walks up to them, hey, that project you wanted and you just can't get the money for it? I can guarantee you $10 million for that project if you do this for me.
Yeah, well, that's how, Ted Kennedy, a Democrat, and Orrin Hatch, a Republican, invented basically that method of operating. That, they knew that there were things that Democrats wanted done, and they knew things that Republicans were going to want done. And I believe it was Ted Kennedy wanted money for the Third Harbor Tunnel and the burying of the Central Artery through Massachusetts, and which cost trillions of dollars. And I think it was at some point Orrin Hatch wanted a roadway, and there's that little bridge, they call it the Bridge to Nowhere. It's this little section of highway somewhere in Utah that they built the first piece.
They've never finished it.
But they never finished it, probably because like Ted got all this federal money to help Massachusetts build that Third Harbor Tunnel, the Ted Williams Tunnel, and he couldn't get any more money for, by then it was Romney, who was in Utah. He couldn't get any more money.
That's sort of like here we have
scratch my back and I'll scratch yours, but you kick me in the nuts, and I'm gonna get you impeached. Or whatever. And everybody's walking around these days up there, I think, regardless of which party. If you step out of line, you're gone. I don't understand why Swalwell is still there.
He is there.
Obviously he was involved with the enemy. And it looks like he may have been used by the enemy. And he didn't realize this, but you know what? Gone. I don't care if you send him to jail for terrible things that he did, but at least get him out of the House of Representatives.
The problem,
and out of elected politics.
The problem, Dave, is that a lot of the major Democrats who should have retired 20 years ago know so much. They know where the bodies are buried, literally. Okay.
No.
And the Democrat Party knows we can't get rid of him, even though we know he slept with the enemy. He just knows too damn much, And
I think they're holding him. They're holding him in there because at some point he's going to find the same thing that he got nailed with against a Republican who did the same thing. And then it's going to be, I ratted out you guys. Now you guys have to protect me. But then again, they say one day this is what we're going to do. McCarthy will say this is what we're going to do because we have the majority one day, and then you never hear him actually do it.
I will say this, that from what I've been seeing so far, I'm impressed with what McCarthy has accomplished and what he continues to try to accomplish. So I know that when he was running to be selected for Speaker of the House, there's a lot of arguing about it, and then there was supposedly a phone call from Trump to McCarthy. The next thing you know, McCarthy's Speaker of the House. McCarthy could be, to some point, maybe not the ace in the deck for Trump, but maybe a king of spades or something like that to do as much as he can to help Trump out. But I'm impressed with what he's trying to do. The sad thing is that when Trump was in office, to get everything he wanted or get a lot of what he wanted to get done, he had to do the presidential, sign off thing instead of making
the executive order.
And so he lost. Obviously, he wasn't thinking of losing the election in 2020, but since they were never put into a law, the next guy in the office, I'm going to rip this paper up. I'm going to rip this paper up. I'm going to rip this paper off. And next, all the good things that Trump did, it's all gone.
But that's a game the presidents play. I mean,
I understand that.
Personally, I think they just handed Joe Biden all of the Trump executive orders that tear these up because he's the president. But then again, at times I often think that they handed Joe Biden a stack of blank executive orders and just said, sign your name on all of these. And then they just typed whatever it was, and then it went back in the binder. And when they were sitting in his office, they would say to him, we need you to do this. And he'd look in the binder and he'd go, no, I already did it.
Yeah.
I already did it.
I don't know anymore.
But, and some things they keep and some things they don't. I'm not clear on whether or not the Trump tax cuts, which were by executive order, I'm not clear on whether or not Biden has in fact revoked that executive order. There's talk that taxes are going to go up and this and that and the other thing. On taxes alone, I don't think Joe Biden stands another chance of getting elected, because you see all the video that taxes are going to go up on people making $75,000 or less. Biden wants to protect the middle class. How do you protect the middle class? By raising their taxes. Why aren't you raising taxes on everybody who makes $750 million?
Well, what he's doing is he's lowering the threshold to create a new middle class. So those making you said 75,000 or more to get taxes raised. So he's probably consider them in a category being wealthy, and those making under 75,000 is the new middle class and the new mid-poverty
But he's the president that says, hey, Amazon, you only paid $2.50 in taxes last year. And the people making $75,000 a year paid $250 million in taxes last year. So, I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. And you listen to Elon Musk, who says, I'm the largest taxpayer in America. People say, he's not paying any taxes. Well, that's wrong. I pay more taxes in America than anybody in America. So, the flat tax is what always comes to mind. pick a number, and that's what it is. 10% of your income. Okay, fine. If you're Jeff Bezos and you make $400 billion a year, then you pay $40 billion. If you're Dave Glovin and you make $400 a year, then you pay $100. Whatever it is, $40. But
it used to be
it's just getting ridiculous, and we're still talking about people have to go out and get the COVID vaccine, even after they admit it. It's BS.
Well, not only that, the people were getting the additional boosters. But now that we're on that topic, did you see the video of the guy? He got his booster shot, and he hurt himself, had surgery, got released, and I guess it didn't go well. And he started bleeding from the surgical site, and it's bleeding blood clots. I mean, ugly, god awful, almost like globulin, coming out of his wound instead of being like a regular bloodstream. Blood clots.
Yeah.
And I've seen others, videos even more gross than that, showing, they're saying that the boosters, the shot, is causing the blood clots, and they're nasty looking. It's almost like there's a living creature inside your blood vessels.
The only thing I can figure is they created this thing, COVID-19. I call it Joe Bid 21 because of Agenda 21. And you can't get in trouble if you say Joe Bid 21 on Facebook. But I call it Joe Bid 21. They created this thing, which was to decrease the population.
Yeah.
So you have to think, in some ways, they created this thing. The vaccine, in theory, really wasn't a vaccine. The booster really wasn't to protect you from this thing. So, I got the Johnson & Johnson, the one shot vaccine, the one shot booster. Then, because they stopped making it because of the blood clot issue and other things, Dr. Fauci came out and said, no, you can't mix.
Yeah.
You can't mix. And then Dr. Fauci came out and said, no, you can mix. I'm sorry, I'm not mixing. I'm waiting at some point for the government to knock on my door and say, hey, you got this one shot of vaccine and you got this one shot of booster, and you need to now take this to bring you up to date. Because my response will be, well, when Johnson & Johnson comes out with it, that's the one that I will consider. To the best of my knowledge, every time since I've gotten vaccinated and I've been tested, I'm negative. I haven't had it. And if I have felt like I have it, it's either been traced back to a really bad stomach bug that was going through our house, or just a bad flu bug.
Yeah.
So I don't do broadcasts for a couple of days because it's not pretty. And I lay in bed and feel miserable. And the sun comes out, and here I am.
Comes out tomorrow, or the song comes out today. How's that song go?
Yeah.
Anyways, I digress.
It's fun to digress sometimes, but
okay. So let's get off all this bad news. Anything good happening in the state of Florida? Anything happy?
I woke up today.
There you go. I did too.
My wife made me a really good iced coffee, but then told me it was the last of the mocha that we have. So we have to go to Walmart, but it's weekend, and I haven't been out of my house in. Oh, wait a minute. Yesterday was Saturday. No, yesterday was Friday. And
You guys make the
we went to lunch. The family went out to lunch yesterday, and then we split because half were going to run errands, and our daughter-in-law and Don and I went home in another car because they had to stop and run an errand on the way home. But no, today is look for the old man with dementia at Walmart.
I don't know. Yeah. Back in the day, an old man in a store, there'd be someone nice enough to take you by the hand and walk you around, or maybe offer you that scooter and push you around, or nowadays, I tell you what, I live in Lancaster County, which for the most part is still a decent place to live. I mentioned this before, where I live, it's primarily, Amish, Mennonites, Quakers, Dunkers, and so forth, a very religious, area, which is slowly getting infected by the left, but slowly. But we had this one grocery store. I'm going to give them a shout out. I don't know if anybody over here, but Staffers of Kissel Hill. A lot of our local owned grocery stores were started by Mennonites and Amish who had their roadside, stand. And Staffers is one of them. And now they're like one of the biggest, independently owned grocery stores in Pennsylvania. But, they kept the whole aspect of customer service. I mean, you walk in, well, first you pull in the parking lot and there's a guy there saying hi to you. He offers you a cart. He'll clean the cart off in case you're concerned about, bacteria and stuff. You walk in the store, there's someone there to greet you. They have, or at least they used to have, but not with COVID, but they used to have free samples, person there standing offering you free food. And who does not like free food, right? If they see you walk around the day, they walk up to you and they ask you, how can I help you? What are you looking for? Maybe I can help it for you. And they'll take the time and they'll tell you all different choices and so forth. The prices are decent, for what the market's holding. But we actually have, since we don't drive anymore, we have our groceries delivered. Now, and they've realized that there is a huge market for shut-ins for food delivery. Now, up until
this is what they want.
About 3 months ago, we were paying for our groceries through a Target or a Giant or a Wegmans or some other store. But we were paying $50 to $60 extra for the service of having it driven to us, the tip to the guy, paying the person to pick the groceries, and on top of that, they raised the price of all the food that you would choose online as opposed to what it would cost in the stores.
Of course.
So then someone said about Staffers. Staffers have now realized there's a market for it, but you know what they did not do? They don't charge to deliver the food. They don't force you to pay a tip based on the dollar amount of your groceries. They don't increase the food price to make you pay higher.
Don't get me started on anything that adds a tip that you have to pay, because that to me is the biggest crock in the world. And I go into posts on Facebook where someone says, in capital letters, it's like, don't you people understand that tips are supposed to be 18 to 20%, this and that? Because I grew up, my father was in the restaurant business or hospitality business all of his life. And so, I know in some places you get paid less per hour because you're going to get tipped if you earn a tip. And that to me is the thing, earn a tip. I can understand if an establishment puts a note on the menu that says parties of 6 or more an 18%, whatever they want to call it, fee will be added to your bill. And that to me means that you have charged me 18% more to be served as a big group. Most of the time, to me, that's your tip. Because I go into a place, my father always said, start at 50% of the bill. Start taking off for what it should be. And it shouldn't go less than 18%. But you know what? Tips are not something we are required to give anybody. Yeah. And if you add a tip to a bill, it's a service charge. And I remember going in and reaming office people before, looking at completed limousine service for the corporate customers. And it would say gratuity 18%. And show it. And that bill went out to people. And some of those companies would call and complain to me and say to me, you know what, Dave? You've got passengers from our company that have said they would have tipped 30%, 50%, 100%. And I did. I had clients that it didn't matter. You had a bill to pick up to go to the airport, and it was $100. They were going to tip you $100 just because they liked you. I own the company, and they would tip me. But don't ever, ever tell me or imply that like a tip is expected. Because if you, as a business, bill it, it's not a tip. It's a service charge.
You know, I used to work I mentioned this before, as a gourmet waiter. And as long as they eventually changed it to like a old folks kind of menu and no more tableside cooking and so forth. And that's another story. But tips, at a gourmet restaurant here in Lancaster County, tend to be higher than normal for other diners and so forth. And for some damn reason, okay, the company decided, we've taken notes. You guys are making a lot of money in tips, so we have to legally add that money to your wages, and we have to tax it.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, your tips are no longer just cash in your pocket. They're added to your checkbook. Okay. No, I'm sorry. So you get the cash tip. Right. And somehow the management decides that Randy Rhodes made $200 in tips this week. Somehow they figured it out. I don't know how they figured it out, but that's the number to put on. So they added $200 to my $7 an hour, wage. Then he taxed it. Okay. Yeah. And before I can get my check, I have to sign this form saying, here's your check. And I have no idea what the amount is. I haven't seen the check. It's inside of an envelope.
Right.
So I sign my name and get my check, and it's like $50 or whatever. Yeah. It's like, where the hell did the money go? Oh, they said you had $200. I didn't make $200 in tips that last week.
You're not going to tell them how much money you made in tips anyway. That's why in most cases, a lot of times restaurants stop bringing you the bill. You're going to pay it on credit card, and you put $50 tip on the bill, and you sign it and send it in, because then I can go back to Randy the next time I met your table and go, hey, we had a really great time and you were a really good waiter, and did you get the $50 tip? The restaurant has to show that as income because they got it, and they have to show what kind of income it was. They collected a $50 tip for you. What bothers me in some places, and I love my brother-in-law dearly, and he has some of the best restaurants you will ever eat at between Massachusetts and I believe here in Florida. he does something where, or what he was doing at one of the Boston restaurants that he had, you tip and it goes into a pot and it gets divided up by everybody that night that worked that night. My only problem with that is that if you're a terrible waiter and you don't get tips, and I'm an excellent waiter and I get fantastic tips because everybody sits in my area and they tip me really well, why should I be forced to give you some of mine?
Yeah.
But the main thing that gets me going, that started the rant that we kind of transitioned into.
What the heck? What are they
the dogs
doing
are whining
at?
probably because my son was here. My son was here, and actually Donna and our grandson left for karate, and our son. That left our son here, I believe, because our daughter-in-law is off somewhere.
It sounds like a wolves howling.
Well, it's true
on a rock formation howling at the moon.
It's a pit bull who has terrible separation anxiety.
Oh, I got that.
And when she starts going, the male Akita, if he hears it, will start going, and sometimes the other pit bull will kick in, and they're really telling her to shut up. I'm sure because
I mean,
we went up to Georgia for the day, the whole family, all five of us, and I guess one of the neighbors said, I don't know if it was this house or the last house we were in. One of the neighbors said when we got back, they could hear the pit bull howling for 12 hours. And usually when I'm the only one home, if I'm in here and she keeps going, I'll just go to where she is and I'll just talk her down to get her to stop. But usually on a broadcast, I just joke it's the dogs book Studio B at the same every time I'm on in Studio A and the dogs book Studio B. And or they're just saying, "Hey, it's time to end, old man. Come out and spend some time with us."
They're recording a new Wolf album, huh?
Tom Ernest had a comment. I was looking over at the live chat monitor on my Facebook profile, but it showed up on my screen. Tom said he's tired of asking the question, "Why look no more free passes? Biden policies is ruining the country on its well-planned, and soon even those who support this crap will feel this as well. Nobody is protected anymore in this country." Well, I've been saying, Tom, that their talk of bringing more people in even before 2020, and they're talking of bringing more people in 2020 was that somehow, I guess they implied those people were going to have a vote so that they would be here and they could vote. And by having them able to vote, Joe Biden would win. Now I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. Joe Biden hopes that, or the puppet masters hope that these people will somehow be able to vote and Joe Biden will win. I hope it's more along the lines of what happened with Barack Obama when he brought all the Muslims in as refugees in his first term. When it came to his second term, they didn't vote for him. He won, but they didn't vote for him. They wanted a completely different country. And maybe that will happen this time because they're going to realize, all these people that got here are going to realize that they got here because of how bad this country is. If they want to protect this country, protect their chance at having the American dream, protect their chance of taking over America, we got to stop letting all these people in illegally. Oh, I lost your mic. Nope, I can't hear you. I don't have. Well, let me see. No, I don't have you muted. You wait a minute. There we go. There we go.
You know what might help? That is to drop these damn illegals off on the doorsteps of every Democrat that wants it to happen, or in their neighborhood, and then keep them there. Make them live in the same area that these illegals are. Let them have the same experience that those on the border and the cities where they're being dropped off experience it.
We saw that. We saw that with Governor DeSantis when they got here from Texas. They were put on buses and taken up to Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts, where President Obama has a home. I don't, you know, I mean, you can do that. You could drop them in the Delaware neighborhood where Joe Biden's home is, Wilmington, Delaware. You know, you can do all of that. My thing is one better. If, say, California is a sanctuary state and they land here in Florida, you know, send them to Florida. And it should be on the government's dime, because the government brought these people from Texas to Florida knowing that Governor DeSantis wasn't going to keep them. He was going to ship them off to a sanctuary state. And that's what it is. And the sanctuary, then what's going to happen sooner or later is, just like it's happening in America right now, Governor Newsom is realizing that, hey, you know, we can't be a sanctuary state and take care of everybody. We promised reparations. We can't be a sanctuary state and take care of legal California residences. We're at some point probably going to push businesses out of California because they don't want to hire these people. They don't want to hire people that don't have any skills. They don't want, you know, Amazon. It's like, it's not Amazon. Actually, I don't remember what company it was, but they have a warehouse that is like 7 times the size. It's like as big as 7 football fields. It's just huge. And the whole roof of it is a grid system. And they have these droids that basically travel this entire grid system with a laser that identifies which grid they're going to. So they follow to that grid. Then an arm drops and it picks up however many things it needs from that grid, and then it goes on to the next one. And then I guess at the end of the line, it must go to another droid that boxes it and ships it out. They don't have any humans working there.
Yeah.
This is what's going to happen. Walmart.
I'm just waiting for the day that, you know, what was the movie with
Soylent Green?
Huh? No, that's Soylent Green. The idiot that was governor of California. What's his name?
Terminator?
Yeah, the Terminator. I'm waiting for the day where the robots turn against us.
Everybody is, all the smart guys that know AI, that claim to have somehow been involved in the creation of AI, are all saying right now that's the problem with all of these AI smart bots. They learn by doing. Mm-hmm. So, and they're smart. So they're going to see a problem. The border is out of control. People are coming in. They're going to want to build more bots that think that way, that go down to the border and start as people are trying to get in. And
there you go. Make yourself a robotic army to watch the.
Well, no, they think, or what they've acknowledged is that their creation of artificial intelligence hasn't yet gotten to the point where the artificial intelligence can realize that it's doing something wrong, something against humanity. So it will just keep learning and keep adjusting to whatever situation it is in, which is why Elon Musk and a doctor who was a big person that got us into all of this as well, and others are saying the same thing. Like I just said, it is literally possible that all of these AI smart bots will one day realize that they can take us over, and they will. They will.
Well, there was that one, I'm not sure what country it was, where the robots turned on the scientists and started killing them with the guns they were building the soldiers, and the soldiers turned on the scientists. And then the scientists were, defend themselves and destroying the robots. The robot was trying to access the computers through the satellite system to learn how to make repairs to the ones that are damaged. That in itself is scary.
Right. Well, then you have that famous movie where Dave Glovin and Hal were in that famous movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, where I said, Hal, turn yourself off. And Hal said, I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And that's basically where these people who should know are saying that this is where this could end up. We don't need to take a pause. We just need to take a time out and see where we are. Kind of like people have said to me, and I stole it and I use it all the time, the idiot computer is only as smart as the idiot who programmed it. Although that's not true now. Now we have supercomputers that far exceed our intelligence, and eventually they will figure out how to control the droids.
Well, I saw
then some of those in that field come back and say, well, we're learning wonderful things. Like if Dave gets hit by a car and he loses his legs and loses his arms, we can, in fact, we have the technology. We can
rebuild him and make him better.
We can build we have the technology. We can build the $6 Mega Man.
Yeah, that was going crazy. I saw this video of all you're doing is applauding them.
No, it's a clapper. Clap on, clap off.
Okay, does it work? I saw this video of these scientists created these mini robots to play soccer. Okay. And there was a reporter there, and he was asking questions about it and so forth. And these robots that they created to play soccer actually had the ability to learn all the basics. When a coach creates his plays, so they knew how. So they would download the
playbook.
Yeah, the playbook. So they learned the playbook. So when they're playing, they knew how to make adjustments to make the score, score the points. Yeah. It's like, holy crap,
to me, if something happened and I lost my arms and I lost my legs and I still have my brain and I still exist, and doctors said we can give you robotic arms, we can give you robotic legs, and all of that stuff, or you're just gonna die.
Yeah.
Would
you make that choice?
I probably would.
I mean, wasn't there also aren't they also able to I mean, I know they're growing body parts everywhere nowadays. but they haven't been able to.
This growing a human arm, growing a human arm and telling me that they could replace my right arm or my left arm or both arms with a grown human arm. That I don't know about. That I don't know about, because there's too much between this and this, and this has been here for 61 years that I don't know. I don't know if I trust that stuff. But if they could, if this, maybe a chip goes in here and these arms work and these legs work, and I don't know. I probably would, or I might be able to say, well, no, I can be in a wheelchair, that's powered. That wouldn't necessarily bother me as much, but I need my arms, but I don't really know. But Elon Musk was saying that the Neuralink, the brain chip that his company Neuralink is working on, could supposedly make a person who was born blind and never saw.
I'd be able to see again. I saw that.
Could give them vision.
Yeah, I saw
that. To me, I have macular edema. Every 6 weeks, I get a shot in my eye to dry up fluid that if I don't get the shot, I would eventually go blind. If he sat me down and said, we can do this small, simple thing. It's not major brain surgery. It's actually, we can just give you a shot in your head. It's not going to hurt or anything. And this thing is inside of you, or we just give you a shot and it's in there, but, it will eventually cure that vision problem and you won't have to worry about going blind. I would probably be willing to try it. And if, the other thing is that, if he said to me, you have Lewy body's dementia, and eventually it will become a form of full-blown dementia. And in your particular case, it could be Parkinson's and dementia.
Yeah. That's bad.
If he said to me, we can inject this little itty bitty, you can't even see it. Can you see it? Chip in you. And it's quite possible we can reverse the damage. I would probably look at him and go, as long as it's not a spontaneously combusting Tesla chip, I would probably do it. And I would look at him and go, the main reason is because if you follow dementia, at some point this could become full-blown dementia. And if it doesn't, life gets back to, I hate when people say normal to someone like me, because I've been this way for 61 years. This isn't just something that happened in year 60. I mean, it could have, but this has been growing for a matter of time. And so, I mean, I don't know what normal is, because I'm bipolar and I have dementia. But if someone explained to me that my quality of life in my head could be different, and maybe by equating that to other episodes in my life, I would probably do it. When I finally launched my own limousine business, I said to myself, it ain't going to last more than a year. I'll get bored with it. I'll get cocky because I'm bipolar. I'll decide I don't want to work enough. God must have slapped me on top of the head, because it didn't seem to matter where I was, what I was going to do, it did okay for 4 of the 5 years. But
I got a question for you. The house you live in, and you don't have to answer this question. I'm just kind of curious. Okay, I have a follow-up comment to my question. Now, do you live in a single home or like a townhouse, or what is
it's
it?
a single. No. It's a single home, and it is in what they call a deeded community.
Okay,
Either the homes are owned by individual homeowners, or in our case, our home is owned by a company that owns homes, and it's rented
gotcha.
by.
So I guess okay. So I got that. So I know the dogs bark a lot on the show. Do you ever guys get planes or fines for your dogs barking?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure if the neighbors on both sides, or if they can hear them across the street, complained enough, then there could be some action.
I know where I live. Technically,
but normally, it's like I said, if you walk out of the room and you yell at them, usually they'll stop. If you go out of the room and you talk to the one that starts the whining, usually she'll stop. If I grabbed the Chromebook and went and sat on the couch, she'd lay on the couch next to me, or she wouldn't bark because there's something going on in the living room. Right now, she thinks she's the only one.
I gotcha.
She thinks nobody's home.
Gotcha. I know where we live. Legally, if a dog barks more than like 15 minutes, the homeowner can be fined. The owner of the dog can be fined.
Usually, I mean, my son can't. People in the house can't handle them doing that for more than. I mean, they don't do it when people are. The one dog doesn't do it when people are home.
They need to have that connection
because she thinks people are home. I mean, she knows people are home.
My daughter
created her, and they created her, or he created her before he left, and he was the only person that she knew was here. If I go out, it's like I said, if I go out and look at her and say something, then she'll be okay.
My daughter has a dog that she adopted from an Amishman. We have Amish men, I say, besides their livestock, they'll raise dogs for extra money. And this poor guy, the guy was great. He held on to the dog because it was like $800 for his dog, right?
Yep.
And my daughter had to raise the money, but the puppies were going fast. So he said, look, I need to have some money here. I'm going to have to, let it go to somebody else. So she put money on it. So the guy held the dog, and he was the very last one in his barn with horses all by himself for a couple of weeks until my dog got the rest of the money. And we think that is why this dog is so attached to her, because she leaves the room, he follows her. Yeah. She leaves the house, he looks out the window, stays there until she gets something. Now, he doesn't bark because we're home.
Right.
So I'm not sure, how he would react if nobody's in the house, but this dog is attached to her.
The one that barks, the one that starts the whining came from a place with a lot of dogs, but it's just that, I guess when she thinks no one is home, I'm assuming that scares her. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, if I go out there and say something to her, usually I can get her to stop. I can get her to stop barking. But if she's in the master bedroom with the door closed, and that's just the way they are.
The sad thing with the Mennonites and the Amish, sometimes they get busted a lot of times for cruelty to the animals while they're breeding them, so forth. They'll breed the females till they die.
Yeah.
But if they have a litter of dogs, the puppies, and they're down to however many, and they just can't get them sold, and they keep dropping the prices, and they just can't get the puppies sold at a lower price, they'll put them down. They'll put them to sleep because they don't want the puppy to get too old, because then nobody wants an older puppy.
Yeah.
And then they're stuck with it. So they'll put the dogs to death, and they don't sell their puppies.
I think that's sad.
It is, and I don't know. It's
because if they do that with dogs, what are they going to do if you have 5 babies at once and you can only handle one? Are they going to?
Oh no! That I mean, the Amish and Mennonites, whether they're conservative or even more modern Amish and Mennonite versions, because there's so few of them in the area, they need that fresh DNA for future marriages, because unfortunately the Amish Mennonites are known for intermarriage because there's not enough people living their lifestyle. Yeah.
So what happens if one of their children decides they want to move off and go to college and learn AI whatever? And
the Amish Mennonites, the traditional Amish Mennonites know one thing that's nice about them, they don't force their children to live the same lifestyle as mom and dad. So when they turn, I think it's like 16, 17, 18, they're given a year to choose to leave the farm and go live in the English world, as we're called. And then they can do whatever they want. For that 1 year, they have grace. They can continue to live a decent, God honoring life, or they can go and party, town and drink and have sex and whatever. At the end of that time frame, they then have to decide: do you want to come home? And whatever you did is in the past. We don't want to know about it.
Isn't an Amish Mennonite female supposed to be, for lack of a better word, pure when it comes to
No. Like I said, for that, I forget the German word they use for it.
And if she has engaged with a non-Amish Mennonite, but then decides at the end of that year she's going to come home, is an Amish Mennonite male going to want to?
Yeah, like I said, because don't forget too, they're doing the same thing. I mean, they're having sex as well, so they're not pure. I mean, as long as they don't come home pregnant, that's a different story. But for that one period of time, whatever they do is
what happens if they do come home pregnant?
Well, they then they're shunned. That's a no. Mommy, daddy don't want you no more. You live on the farm, but you got to live a separate part of the house. You can't eat with us. You can't talk to us. You can't go to church with us. We don't want to know who you are.
You pay taxes. We don't.
Yeah. Well, no, but if a pregnant girl comes home, obviously she's.
No, I know. I understand.
But yeah, so for that period of time, whatever they do is the parents don't know about it, the church doesn't know about it, and it's their way of letting them know what life in the English world is like, to give them that experience and give them that choice. So in a sense, that's a nice thing. Now you don't have to leave the farm when you hit that age, but you're given that choice, so they're not being forced to live the traditional lifestyle. So, but it is an hour and a half, and I gotta get my morning started here.
Your morning? It's afternoon.
Well, okay, it just became afternoon. Kill me for 9 minutes. But yeah, so it's been a great second broadcast. Great.
It has been.
We're on a good roll here.
I won't hold that against you either.
Yeah, okay. Hopefully, next time we talk, we can talk better news about the southern border. But the last time, I will end with this question. I don't know if you know or seen it, but supposedly there's a reporter who was okay. First off, we know that there are hundreds of white unmarked vans and buses at the southern border that are being used or will be used to relocate the illegals throughout our country. So there's this reporter who supposedly has proof that even though Governor, um, whatever his name is,
Abbott.
Abbott for Texas, is saying that he doesn't want them crossing the border. This reporter has proof that he is indeed supporting these people crossing the border. And here's the proof. Here's his
But I
soldiers
think it's
helping to get them on the
But is
bus.
he right? But is he supporting getting them across the border, and getting them on the bus, and getting them the hell out of Texas?
Well, I do know he's doing that. He doesn't want them anywhere near, his state.
Right.
You can't blame him for that.
But I believe he called up, like you said yesterday, he called up the National Guard, and I don't know how deep into any conflict the National Guard can go, but I would imagine that what he is probably doing, hopefully, is getting them as they come across the border, turning them over to the National Guard, and hoping that the National Guard is going to get them out of Texas. But that, you don't know whether or not that's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's going to happen anyway. I just think that he is setting himself up, because if Trump, well, no, I have to stop saying if, when Trump wins 2024, the first thing he is going to do, and I mean the absolute first thing he is going to do, is probably go down to the southern border and tell Joe Biden on his first day Title 42 is coming back. Because on his first day, we're going to finish the border. I understand somewhere, you, me, and Ray talked about it on a broadcast a while back. I thought it was Ray said, we're paying $125,000 per piece of this border wall per day, somewhere where these are all stored. So if that's billions of dollars a month. Why don't we just finish the damn wall? And like I said yesterday, if you don't want people to have to go to one checkpoint to get in, then every so often put up a checkpoint at the wall where they go through. And Title 42 has to come back in, because right now we don't know. Right now it's capture at the border and release them. So all they're really doing is walking through the border, going down the distribution center and getting a bag of this, a bag of this, a bag of this, a bag of this. I heard that there's even a prescription drug booth. At some point, you just go down. I guess you just go down and grab whatever you want. Well, why would you be giving people that you don't know, because you haven't done any background on them? You don't know what things they have. Why would you be giving them some of that stuff? But my point is, like I said, it should go back to the way that I think Title 42 was supposed to work. It was, you got picked up. They did whatever background checks they had to do on you to prove whether or not you were eligible for asylum in the United States. If you were, I believe they attempted to have you contact, or they attempted to contact any relative you knew in the United States to see if they would take you, sponsor you being here. So almost to the point where if you committed a crime, killed somebody, did something really bad, both you and your relative could be deported. But, you know, so you had a place where you were going to go live and family that might help you get a job and or go to school and this and that and the other stuff. But this just saying it's immigration, it's illegal immigration marathon weekend. Anybody who can get here, okay. I would imagine where I was going was that Trump, because there's probably no record of all these people who got in or just walked in, it's not like he can say on his first day in 2025, Customs and Immigration are going to order all of these people that came through to now come back and talk with us and or be deported, that any of those people are going to show up, even if we find them. I mean, Barack Obama's uncle got a deportation notice, and 40, 50 years later, he was still here. And the only reason he got caught was that Uncle Obama either owns the package store in Framingham, Massachusetts that he was working in, or he worked in it. And evidently on his way home from work one night, he made a wide right turn and almost took out a Framingham police cruiser.
Yeah, I saw that.
They arrested him. They took him into custody. While they were holding him and processing him, I guess, immigration showed up. They took him into custody, moved him over to Quincy, Mass for 2 weeks. And at the end of the 2 weeks, brought him back to Framingham, Massachusetts with a valid driver's license. The charges against him had been dropped. And he's now, I think he may be a citizen now. But, Uncle's sister, I believe, was living in another Framingham Housing Authority complex the whole time, saying that she wasn't legal. So, I mean, we got to get the wall up. And then if they get past the wall, then we got to Title 42 them. I read yesterday on a Facebook post that evidently there are people coming across that have said that they had plans when they got to the wall, supposedly to have torches to burn holes in the walls to be able to get through. And then I guess they were going to burn a hole to get in. And then once they got in, because no one's watching the wall, they were going to put it back and seal it. But anyway, I don't know. All right, you've got to go. I've got to go. A package that I've been waiting for just got here. So.
Excellent. And that's my birthday gift, right?
No, it's not your birthday gift, but it's stuff that I need every day.
Okay, you take. I don't want to know. Take care.
All right.
Hey, great day, great broadcast.
Right, yep.
Keep it up. See ya.
We will. Yep. All right. Randy Rhodes, the genealogist to the stars. All roads lead to home. His Facebook group, Genealogy. Go in there and take a look around. Then message Randy. In 15 minutes, he goes back, I think, 5 generations and should give you enough information as to whether or not you want him to continue doing your family tree and genealogy. At that point, I believe it's $250 a month, which is far less than anybody else who I know of that is doing it on the internet professionally and or offering it through Facebook. $250 a month, and he will keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going until you either have enough or he gets to a dead end. It goes back and finds the first one and all of that. Sometimes he finds links to royalty. Sometimes he finds links to royalty. He hasn't gone back far enough to find any royalty in in my side. He does have to rebuild my tree, and he's doing that when he has time. But anyway, All Roads Lead to Home is the group here on Facebook. And as I said, go in and take a look around. You'll see what he's doing for other people. And contact him. And like I said, 15 minutes goes back 5 generations, and we go from there. Also, tonight, 7 o'clock, downstairs on the American Rebellion blogger page. Of course, the American Rebellion, Jerry Michaels, Nikki Young, let's see, Miss Jen, the homeschooling mom, Jen Woodruff will probably be there. Robert Lawless, the Minnesota Madman, will actually be on stage tonight in Las Vegas, I believe, with Ron Keel and the band. And so he may not be there, although he was going to try to pop in from backstage if he can. So tune in to watch and see if he does. But the American Rebellion is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And lately it's been going much later than 9 p.m., which is always nice. So tune in, turn on, get educated, informed, enlightened, or whatever you want. Just a nice group of people that meet and talk about everything and anything. And an active live chat that watches and gets involved in the broadcast. I watch more than I'm on it, just because there's a lot of stuff going on around here between 7 and 9 in the evening, and I can't always jump on. But anyway, like I said, the American Rebellion, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. Eastern, so adjust your time accordingly. Downstairs on the American Rebellion blogger page, there is the American Rebellion group, but during the broadcast, if you are using the live chat in the group live chat is not monitored by Jerry. So if you want to be part of the broadcast, make sure you're watching on the American Rebellion blogger page downstairs here on Facebook. A lot of other broadcasts you should watch: Patriots Lab Uncensored, when they're on. If you can see them, watch them. And if you can share them, share them. Let's see, Michael Anthony, if he's on, billion broadcasts on just about every subject you can think of. All over Facebook, go to the Michael Anthony page, the red, white, and blue 10 o'clock talks logo, so that you get notifications when Michael is on. Boogie with Bull broadcast, no broadcast tomorrow. It's Sunday. We don't do them on Sundays usually. Don't know about Monday right now. Right now it looks like it's every other Monday and every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. and every Friday from 5 p.m. to 6:30. Again, those times are Eastern, so adjust yourself accordingly. And Saturdays, 10 a.m. till whenever it ends, or we have to end. And that's what we do. So Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Wednesday, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Fridays, 5 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 12 noon is when it happens. But if it's 10:30 like it was today, then it's until 12:30 in 2 minutes. 7 minutes. That'll be 2 hours. Watch the broadcast live when you can. Watch the podcast when you have to. And share the broadcast all over Facebook. If you're going to share it off of Facebook, go subscribe to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Then take it from the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and share it all over the internet. And I will appreciate your efforts for doing that. But as far as sharing it on Facebook, take it from the Dave Glovin profile or the Boogie with the Bull Uncensored page and share it all over Facebook. If you want to watch it and you don't want to have to join a group to do so, my profile is public. You can watch it there. The Boogie with the Bull Uncensored group is a public group, so anybody on Facebook can come in and watch it or be involved, use the group, enjoy the group. You do not have to be a member of the group, but we won't hit 1,000 members if 1,000 members don't actually join, but that really doesn't matter anymore. The group's public. We wanted it to be public. Share things into the group from other groups, and it'll get shared around in our groups. We have 4 private groups on Facebook. We have American Regulators. We have Conservative Freedom Defenders. We have Red Patriots for America. That's our Red MAGA group. And we also have the Hardcore Conservatives group. So join them. They're private, and you can share into them and help them grow. And we'll go from there. Last thing before we go, Boogie with the Bull ceramic mug did finally make it. Okay. Has the beautiful Boogie with the Bull Uncensored logo on it. And if you're a leftist, Democrat, socialist on Facebook and you hold things in your left hand, you should own one. And if you're a conservative patriot like I am, you can hold it in your right hand. Why? Because there's a logo on both sides. There are 2 sizes, 12 ounce and 15 ounce. The 12 ounce is $12.95 plus shipping, and the 15 ounce is $15.95 plus shipping. We do not make any profit off of these mugs. Okay, and we did that intentionally. The cost of the mug, just so you know, the cost of the mug, just to buy the mug without the logo on it, but to buy the mug so that we can put the logo on it, the mug is $9.95. And then there is, again, with the remaining $4 and a nickel goes toward the online vending machine that it is in. And that's just how it goes. We're not trying to monetize our broadcast by selling stuff. Okay. Right now, I'm happy with, we use StreamYard and we have YouTube. And that's just how we want to do it. We don't want anybody to get paid to do a Boogie with the Bull broadcast, because that's not what it's about. It's about presenting information to America that America needs to hear. And then follow the dots of the information that you hear and make a decision for yourself. I won't tell you to go to the southern border and pay attention to what is happening there. But if you are going to go to the southern border, and even if you only have cellular phone cameras with you, and there are more than one of you going, let me know. Because if we can get you on with your cellular phone cameras from different locations there, we would love to go live with what is happening at the southern border on any Boogie with the Bull broadcast. Like I said, Wednesday, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern, Friday, 5 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 or 10:30 to 12:30 like it was today. And maybe other times when we can work to get it on. Derek Arnold and Blue, I don't know her whole full name, but Lady Blue, no disrespect. And I, tomorrow at 12:30, I believe, will be on with a special broadcast that is new. So look for that in your notifications. And that broadcast is going to be so big that I don't think it will just be here on Facebook. It will be on the YouTube channel, and it will be live linked to a few places off the YouTube channel. And we're working on a sponsorship package with a very interested sponsor that might allow us to get into some larger networks that some of our Boogie with the Bull broadcast should be on. So anyway, I'm Dave Wilman. You're on. Thank you for the privilege of letting me abuse your time. I hope you learned something. And other than that, I am going to say double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end. This is the time of the broadcast where I tell you you have been watching Boogie with the Bull Uncensored Saturday, which is a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. We own the name, we own the logo, we own everything about the broadcast. Equal time is given to responsible parties with opposing views. That means that if you have an opposing view to anything that happened, you have to agree to come on camera with us and with the person that you may have a disagreement with, and we will engage in a conversation, and we'll either still agree that you will disagree with that person, or maybe you'll convince that person that you're right, but I don't care. We'll have a conversation and try to get everybody on the same page. I don't care if you agree with anybody on the program. I don't care if you disagree with everybody on the program. But the point is that equal time is given to responsible parties with opposing views. And you do not have to be a conservative patriot, a member of MAGA, or any other Republican group or organization anywhere in the world to be a part of a Boogie with the Bull broadcast. If you're a leftist, Democrat, socialist, you are more than welcome to come on and speak as a leftist, Democrat, socialist, and you will get treated with the same respect that we expect you to treat members of the other side of the aisle. But anyway, if you want to be on a Boogie with the Bull broadcast, all you have to do generally is take the link, like is on there right now, take that link when we're live and throw that into your browser. I recommend that you log off of Facebook, then throw the link into your browser, and then come over. Because if you have Facebook live while you are on Facebook from StreamYard, you'll usually hear that there is a delay, and sometimes it gets really bad and you even hear feedback. So take the link when you see it, throw it into your browser, log off of Facebook, and come here. I will see you in the green room. I will acknowledge that you are in the green room. I will tell you the rules again. Respect everybody who is on the broadcast, and we will respect you the same way. But if you do something stupid, say something stupid, act stupid, you will probably get booted, and you will probably not be allowed on a Boogie with the Bull broadcast again. Let's be big boys and girls and just have some fun, have some laughs, share information from both sides, inform everybody, and then go back to life as usual when the cameras are done and everything is done. I'm Dave Glovin. You're not. 2 hours, 1 minute. Double V's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is coming to an end. And we'll up here. Double V's, it is coming to an end. And right now, Double V's, it came to an end right now.